Dude, what has happened to this sport? I couldn't believe it either, that he would think he would get away with that. He's lucky there was no call. Like, dying minutes, game on the line, and Joel Armia breaks his own stick on purpose? Trying to frame a Leaf for it? The nerve, the cheek. I think the punishment should be they go back 3 years and give the Leafs the Game 5 win. Let's go! Good. We all feel good. Stop! Never gets rusty!
What am I doing?
Into my kitchen! Producer Drew, can you fix all this? And when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you can crumple, yeet! Saw that going differently. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Let's go! Victory pup! Oh, this is... Oh! Leafs win! 3-2 over the Montreal Canadiens. And how you doing? You lose an hour of sleep? Yeah! I've lost a little more than that! But it's okay. She's adorable. She's precious. Say, you got one of those newfangled companies? Well, let me ask you, what's your plan if your company suddenly experiences an IT disaster? Do not wait for disaster to strike to start searching. Make MCAL your first call. Because everything is fine for $5.99. MCAL will send a technician on site same day within the GTA. That rhymes. They will spend up to 3 hours fixing it for a flat rate fee of $5.99. Like their services and want to reduce the chances of a future IT disaster, MCAL will give you back a $599 voucher towards an annual support plan. MCAL can assist you with so many IT disasters. There's ransomware, data loss, major network outages. Write this number down and I'm going to read it to you. 1-877-653-6525. That's 1-877-65 MCAL. Oh, it's MCAL. That's clever. Or visit mcal.ca/urgent for details. Mention Dangle when you contact them for an extra $5.99 voucher towards an annual support plan. mcal.ca/SDPN. So, Leafs with a bit of a new look lineup in this one, which is to be expected. They've acquired some guys over the trade deadline. Joel Edmondson. I almost called him Joel because of Armia. It's screwing me up because they're not on the same team anymore. Also, Connor Dewar. And you're like, yeah, I know that guy. No, that's Walker. There's 2 Dewars in this league. And they're not related. They don't even spell it the same. Anyway, to get Joel Edmondson into the lineup, the Leafs took out, you guessed it, Simone Benoit. What? This got people hot and bothered before the game. Sheldon Keefe. Quite frankly, it kills me having to sit Simone Benoit tonight. Says the focus was keeping Timothy Liljegren's right shot in the lineup. Okay, wait! So you went out in the days and hours leading into the trade deadline. You spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 draft picks, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and 2 sixths, and Dmitry Ovchinnikov, and you came out of it with one right-handed defender, and it was Ilya Lyubushkin! And then you decide to build Timothy Liljegren's confidence by being like, yeah, you're in the lineup, but it's just because, like, what your bottom hand is. Boo and farts! And the forwards, they put Nyes with Kampf. I thought we agreed to never do that again! Needless to say, I was a bit skeptical and worried heading into this game. But it's okay. They're gonna drop the puck. They're gonna start it. It's gonna be Hockey Night in Canada. Leafs, Habs, in Montreal. Let's see what one of the most historic rivalries in the National Hockey League has in store for us tonight.
38 seconds later.
Oh, Lyubushkin gives it away, but nobody really looks like they know what they're doing, and Michael Matheson scores. It's actually a pretty nice goal on his part, and nice goals are sometimes made easier when no one's doing their job. 1-0 Montreal. Shots ended up being 9-9 after 1. Score 1-0 for Montreal after 1. There wasn't even a penalty. That first period, a lot like the last first period, sucked. They just didn't come out looking prepared, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But first, all right, there's no time to lament that right now. We could talk about getting prepared for the beginning of a game before the beginning of the next game. Right now, we gotta focus for the second period, and we're gonna tie this thing up!
39 seconds later.
That's more like it! David Kampf, lol, sets up Bobby McMann. Rip! Bobby McMann snipe for his 10th of the season. Bobby McSnipes, Bobby McMann, whatever you want to call him. It's been a little while, but he gets this one. God, the guy can rip the puck. And it's a tie game. Early in the second, all is forgiven. I also just wanted to shout out this ridiculous stat from Nick Barden, who does Marley Minute for this channel within the LFR videos. Fun fact, the last time Bobby McMann scored at the Bell Center was against Carey Price and the Laval Rocket on May 17th, 2021. That would have been back when Carey Price was on a conditioning stint with the Laval Rocket. That is a stupendous pull from Nick. And just like last game against the Bruins, dud of a first period, wild second. Jake Evans high sticks TJ Brody. TJ Brody falls down and proceeds to take out John Tavares. Oh my gosh, is he okay? Morgan Riley takes a hold against Joel Armia, and yes, it was a hold, but Armia also made sure to give him a nice snuggle on the arm on the way down. Bobby McMahon kneeing against Jake Evans, which is impossible because Bobby McMahon is perfect and wouldn't do that. And with barely over a minute left to go in the second, the weird line comes through. Steve, you talk about David Kampf again? No. Listen, the forward group was thrown into complete disarray because Mitch Marner not in the lineup. Bertuzzi, Matthews, Nylander should have been great. Weren't. We'll talk about that. The fourth line had Pontus Holmberg coming back with Connor Dewar and Ryan Reeves. Kampf with Nyes and McMahon, which is as close as Keefe could come to just pulling 3 random names out of a hat as possible. And the second line of John Tavares in the middle, Calle Yarncroke on the right, and Max Domi on the left. Didn't we talk about this? Didn't we talk about this a long time ago? Like, okay, they get a bit of a mulligan because Marner's out of the lineup. You're playing the Montreal Canadiens, and no offense, it's not that serious these days. It's hockey night in Canada, though. You like to win it. You need the points, too. But months ago, even though Domi was playing well at center, I was like, you know, I'd still like to see how he does on the wing with a center who's not David Kampf. Do you remember that awful line? That god-awful line that I won't let go of? The Kampf with Domi on the wing and Nyes on the wing? Ugh. What's that meme? Ugh. Sheldon, ugh. Like, you know where that line works? Video games. You get a playmaker, a power forward, and a defensive-minded center. Yeah, chemistry. In real life, it's butt. So they try Max Domi on the wing. Finally, for the first time in a while here, let's see how it goes. Yarncroke with a nice little chip out of the zone, and Max Domi becomes Maximum Domi! Beats everybody to the puck, snipes it past Sam Montembeault! Max Domi, in his old stomping grounds, gets the Leafs the lead. And that is how we would head into second intermission, but not before some rough stuff. David Savard roughing against John Tavares, how dare you. John Tavares roughing against David Savard allowed. Noted not Leaf David Savard, by the way. But Arbor Jackeye, naughty, taking the helmet off of Calle Yarncroke of all people, and you're not allowed to do that anymore. It's a bit of a weird penalty, but they got a penalty and the Leafs got a power play out of it. How'd the power play go? Not good! So the power play is already down Mitch Marner because he's not even in the game. Now they were also down John Tavares because John Tavares took a penalty. You know who didn't know that? John Tavares! Dude, this team! Like, one of the things I hope they work on heading into the playoffs is screwing their head on! You've taken approximately 40 too many men penalties this season. You allowed a goal 30 seconds into this game. Beginning of the third period, you have a lead and a power play. That's a gift. It's a gift of a power play. It's practically on a technicality. And you send out someone who's supposed to be in the box. And it's the captain. I assume he spoke to the officials about it. He's not just wearing a letter, he's wearing the letter. That's your captain. So Calle Yarncroke comes over the bench and he's like asking people questions like he's cramming for an exam. The power play is terrible. Timothy Liljegren, very shortly after that really bad power play, takes a holding penalty as just thank you for keeping him in the lineup. It was like 2 weeks ago. I was like, this guy's sick. Oh my God, Timothy, coming out party. Nope. And Alex Newhook finds a lane and the back of the net. He ties this thing up at 2. Now look, the Leafs are obviously battling injuries. They have a lot of new people in the lineup. They got some decisions to make. They're on the road. They've played, 5 games in 8 days, 9 days? They all got the flu. For goodness sakes, I'm not gonna be picky about how you do it. When? It's Montreal! You know, there are not a lot of times in history where you get to say that in this rivalry. Montreal is often very good. And a lot of the time where Montreal's been bad, the Leafs have also been bad, if not worse. This is your chance! Get these 2 points, however they show their face to you, and get out of there! Jake McCabe says, got it. John Tavares goes to the net, the thing you were supposed to put the puck in. Jake McCabe puts it on at the speed of a mildly aggressive burp. He is not trying to score with this. And then he did! Off of John Tavares, his knee, his glove, his breadbasket. I don't even know what he hit, but it hit him. He wasn't paying attention at the beginning of the period, but he was paying attention there. The Leafs regain the lead. Hold on to it. Maximum Domi! 3 minutes to go, Calle Yarncroke takes a tripping penalty. No! Now, what happens within that? Habs fans are going to point out that I believe it was TJ Brody slashed Joel Armia's stick in half, and Armia stood there going, hey! whoa, instead of playing hockey. Just go to the bench and get a new one. That only works when John Tavares does it. How dare you? That's bit infringement. And it is true that the Leafs got away with one there, but let's not ignore giving Joel Edmondson like minor dentist surgery on the dasher a little bit before that. The Leafs kill the penalty, do a great job just dragging out the clock, not letting the Habs pull Sam Montembeault. When Calle Jarnkrok comes out of the box, it's Calle Jarnkrok coming out of the box, so that's probably someone you would throw out there, especially with Mitch out of the lineup. Habs come close a few times, Slafkovsky comes close a few times, dumps it in with less than 20 seconds to go, sick job. And the Leafs hold on for the 3-2 win. Tavares with the game winner, Maximum Domi with a goal and an assist for 2 points. Maximum Domi! Speaking of 2 points, 2 points. Was it a work of art? No. Who cares? Get out of there. And now you get a few days off. Questions. Steve, why do I have to get up at 5:30 for work tomorrow when the clocks go ahead an hour? Okay, I don't want to alarm you, but like, do you have to get up at 4:30 then? Are you sure? Have you done the math? It takes people a sec. Everyone knows one of those people. One of those people where you go, what time is it in Vancouver right now? And you watch their brain crack. Wait, is it before or behind? Carry the... They don't know. They don't... They short circuit. So why do you have to? In the hopes that one day you don't have to. Godspeed. Maximum Domi! Are the top guys hurt? Sick? Or is it just 5 games in 8 days? Oh yeah, for sure. Steve, which one? Yeah. Listen, Matthews, we keep talking about 70. I still hope he's gonna get to 70. I think he's gonna get to 70, but he's had some ho-hum games recently. Even that game recently where he scored the overtime winner. And you could be like, well, he didn't have Mitch. He had William Nylander and Tyler Bertuzzi. Dude, get a load of this. This is from David Alter, and reminder that the Toronto Maple Leafs won this game. Sheldon Keefe on the top line tonight. They weren't very good. The rest of the group picked them up. I know Sheldon Keefe is not a very popular guy in this city because of the whole Simone Benoit thing and also a lot of things that have happened over the last year. He's not wrong there. They were not good. I really hope the next few days off does them some good. Maximum Domi! This is a tough one. Sammy has been good, but Woll has been a little shaky since returning. Should we be getting Jones up for a few reps before the final stretch? So here's the fun thing. They don't have to get Jones up. He's up. He's already there. They're carrying him on the roster right now. He's not with the Marlies. They're carrying 3 goalies. In case of emergency, break open glass. No. Joseph Woll has not played enough games yet, like since coming back. You got to get him into more games. And I assume they're coming off like a 4-day rest. He's either going to play the next game or the one after. Also keeping in mind that his previous 2 games were against the Bruins, and none of the Leafs look good against the Bruins. I do agree with you that he's looked a little shaky. And Sam, I mean, he's completely taken the net back. Even if Woll was completely playing lights out, at most, this would be a tandem. Sammy's been fantastic. This isn't a question, but wow, they look weird without Mitch. He really does tie the room together. Whatever you think of Mitch Marner as a player, he is money in the bank entertainment. Like, you would pay money to watch this player play. He's maybe not an every game dominant player like some of the super duper duper stars in this league. He's extremely good. What he does is just weird stuff. I hate watching hockey and knowing what's going to happen every time they try to cross the blue line. I never know what Mitch is going to do. But hey, you survived the final game of a billion games in not a billion days, and you got 2 points. Who cares who it was against? Who cares how close it was? 2 points. Get out of there. So, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. The trade deadline is now behind us. But if you check out some of the most recent videos on this channel and on STPN's channel, our podcast channels on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, wherever you can get them, oh, STPN had so much trade deadline coverage. Check it out.